Hello, gay men. Welcome to the Coming Inside Out podcast. I am your host, Brian James, along with my co host, Mark Dembo. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Brian, I'm good. I'm really good today.
Good.
And how are
Good.
you?
I'm doing good too. Thank you
I
very
love
much.
I love your backdrop.
Oh, thank you.
And that's not even like fake, right? That's not like some
No, this is real.
AI backdrop, right?
Downtown LA is back there somewhere, but it's a really hazy day, so you can't really see downtown. But one of these times you'll be able to see downtown down there.
Yeah,
So, yes.
nice.
Coming to you live from the 18th floor in downtown Glendale.
All right. Love it.
Hey, I wanted to jump into this podcast and talk about an amazing experience I had with our Gay Fathers group, our local Gay Fathers group. So a couple weeks ago, one of the men in our group hosted a movie night, and 11 of us, 10 of us went over to his house. We had dinner. He made us all dinner. We brought drinks, hors d'oeuvres, kind of stuff. And then we sat down and we watched the movie What's Up, Doc with
Oh, yeah.
Barbara Streisand and
Yeah, classic.
Ryan something.
Um Ryan O'Neal?
Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah.
Anyways, we all got in his living room. He has a nice sized living room, but the cool part about it was he has a sectional couch, and there were five of us, grown men, all out, all gay, very innocent, but we're all sitting on this couch together. We're in very close proximity because five of us are squeezing on the couch. I have my arm around my buddy next to me. The guy on the other side of me is scratching my back. The other guy is just petting the guy's leg. And I was just there watching this movie with all these guys. And again, very innocently. It was such an amazing experience because here we are, all out gay fathers
Right?
sitting around watching TV, and just the closeness that we share is something I would have never experienced had I
Yeah.
not come out. And so I wrote that down in our show notes because I thought that was such a great experience for me, just sitting there with these are literally my best buddies. We've all like joined Gay Fathers of LA around the same time, and it was just such a great experience. So I
And
wanted
and
to share that.
everybody made it through the movie and clothes were still on?
Everybody behaved themselves. We all watched the movie. There was a couple couples there, monogamous couples there, and we're such good friends. I would never
Yeah.
hit on these people, but it's nice to experience, I don't know, just innocent,
Uh,
whatever you call intimacy with my male
well,
friends.
I think
And
that's
it's
great. Now
amazing.
that is so true, and there's so many experiences I know I've had. I talk to other people, and there's this whole um, sense, and I think we're going to talk about it a little bit later. Some of the points from a listener's email who sent in, but
Yes.
how many of us have felt throughout our lives that we never had close male friends, or friends
Yes.
that we had? There was always kind of, we're hiding. There's certain things that we're uncomfortable going down. You just never felt part of the guys, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you can do that, and it's so wonderful to be
Yeah.
able to do that. That's so great. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, just like
Um,
standing in the kitchen and like rubbing, scratching the guy's back that I'm standing next
yeah,
to while we're having a
yeah,
conversation. All
yeah,
innocent again, but just
yeah.
being able to have that, I don't know, connection and just,
Right.
yeah,
It's
just
nice.
feels
It's
so good.
nice. I know
Yeah,
it's great. So I also had a movie night last week, although it wasn't in person. With Gay Fathers Worldwide, some of the guys, we started a virtual movie night club.
okay.
So we all picked a movie.
Is this an East Coast movie night
No, no,
club?
no, 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 no. It was all virtual.
Oh,
We were all on Netflix
Zoom.
and
Okay.
no, using they have a what's it called, Teleparty now.
Oh, I didn't know
It used to be
that.
Netflix Party, but you log
Okay.
in and so there everybody can chat in real time, during the movie. So you don't have that sitting on the sectional and arms around each other. We had our virtual arms around each other, I guess.
Okay.
And we watched the movie Good Grief with um, Daniel Levy, and it's more of a gay. Well, I don't even want to say it's a gay themed movie. His character and a lot of the characters in the movie are gay, but it's not about necessarily being gay. It's
Okay.
his husband dies, and it was actually a fairly emotional movie in a lot of ways. But it was just really nice to have that time, and we were all able to type in the chat and our comments, and some of it was about the movie, and some of it was like, "Hey, he's really hot," kind of thing.
All right.
And
Well, and you could invite somebody over to sit on
of
your couch
course,
with you.
of course, I absolutely. But it was nice to be able to just, similar in the bonding, the
Yes.
common ground, the things that you could just open up about. You could joke about, hey, I think that guy's hot,
Yes.
or just about how the movie was hitting some of us,
Yes.
and it's just really nice, right, to be able to be
Yes.
in that space. And I think for so many of us, it's the coming out later in life, figuring things out. It's realizing, hey, it's not just about, oh, I want to go hook up with a man. It's about
Yes.
having those experiences that for so many of us we never truly had before.
A safe space to
Yeah.
express those feelings.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah. Where
agree.
where you're seen, you're comfortable, you can just
And add humor
be
to it
you,
too. When we were
right?
watching ours, What's Up, Doc? Ryan Reynolds comes out. He has a bow tie on and his boxers. We paused it. You
Right. Well,
know, you're not going to do that at a heterosexual party. Hey,
no,
let's pause
no,
and check him
exactly.
out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Let's zoom in on that, shall we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's zoom in on that. Oh my God, that's so funny. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about something. I wrote it down. I don't know if you've seen South Park or not. I know
You
you
know,
use Chat GPT.
you brought it up a couple of weeks ago, and it's like I got to go watch it. I got to go see it. I keep hearing about it, but no, I haven't. So,
Okay. Well, this last episode, it's about AI is Chat GPT. Basically, it's the same thing, right?
well, ChatGPT is one of
It's
many
a
AI
version.
tools,
Okay.
to AI
This
agents. Yeah.
this guy, if nobody is watching South Park, I've never watched it before this season. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. It's really talking about the political climate we're in right now, but also it was the one guy on his phone was developing a relationship with his AI,
Mm-hmm.
and she helped him build this company. It's supposed to be like a Fortune 500 company, but it was just him, and it was all idea. And it was hilarious because he was like, "Oh, I want to build this company. That's a great idea. That's such a good idea. That's an amazing idea." And it would just really spoke about how people are like so invested in AI. And at some point in time, AI starts to bend towards your way of thinking.
It can. It
It,
can. It's
did you
interesting
see Bill
because
Maher? Did you see the Bill Maher episode a
yes,
couple
I
weeks
did.
ago with
Yes,
it? Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I did. Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, yeah.
that's more than
Well,
can.
but see, but what you have to do, and I'm a pretty avid user of AI, both for work things and some personal things. I actually have recently started using an AI journal, which is been actually pretty cool experience. You can, and what's nice is you can just, talk, you can just put it into talk mode and just dictate what you want to
Yes.
say. And then it responds back to you. And this particular one has a lot of various, it'll pull on different psychology things. And you know what? Look, it doesn't take the place of a therapist or a coach, but a great way to just like reflect on the day and share feelings. And it's like, you have to be comfortable communicating
Yes,
with
because
an
at
AI
some
tool.
point in
But
time, AI could accidentally
well,
or
yes.
purposefully release that information.
Well, well, there is that, right? So you have to be careful about what you're going to
Yes.
share and what your comfort level is in sharing. So by all means, um, and when stuff you put out into AI, while yes, they say it's they take all kinds of security measures. You're feeding their models. The more information it takes in, it learns more, right? That's
Yes.
how AI gets quote better and better. But what I've learned is sometimes I have to say to it, it's like, okay, I need you to be honest with me. Don't tell me something just because you think it's what I want to hear. And sometimes it'll be, like, okay, you know, be a critic here. Tell me
Yeah.
tell
All
me why
right.
this line of thinking is wrong. Tell me what I'm missing. Right. So it's
Okay. Oh,
sometimes
that's
about
good to know. All right.
how you use it as well. Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's good to know. I have.
it can do some pretty incredible things,
All right.
with,
Well,
you
if
know,
if you're not watching South Park and you have the ability to go and watch it, it
yeah.
is absolutely hilarious. I'm having one of my friends over tomorrow night. He does not have Paramount, and we're gonna watch the 3 episodes that are currently out. And
All right.
I just laugh my ass off when I
Well,
watch it. It's
maybe
just
that'll be
hilarious.
my evening activity
There you
tonight.
go. All
So
right.
after
Um,
dinner, glass of wine, and South Park.
there you go. And there's Luke McFarlane. You know who he is? He was in Bros.
I don't.
He's a hottie. He
Okay.
is in an Apple TV series called Platonic. He's super, he's just a good looking guy.
Well,
He's
now
gay, but he plays a heterosexual role in this series Platonic. I think that's absolutely hilarious too. Anybody who likes Luke and you want to see him, I think it's a great series. So that's something I
well,
wanted to bring up
now
also.
I gotta try and
Now you
go
gotta
Google
look.
him,
Now you
and
gotta look. Gotta look him up. Well, while you
cool.
look him up, I'm gonna bring up something that you and I talked about in the last episode. And in the moment, I brushed over it, and then you and I were having a conversation after we stopped recording, and it kind of really hit home with me. And I thought, wow, that's something that maybe we should have dived a little deeper into. You were talking about when you were in Canada and you were visiting your friend, even though you're out, your wife knows, your family knows,
Yeah.
everybody knows there
Yeah.
was an element of guilt that kind of crept in
Yeah.
and kind of hovered with you.
Yeah.
And oh, I've thought
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about it a little
It
more.
was so as I talked about last time. You said my friend, but I was visiting my boyfriend
Yes.
in Canada. And as I've also shared, I've been very lucky. My wife, who I'm separated from, we still have a very good relationship. She knows of him. She hasn't met him, but
Okay.
she knows about him. She knows his name, and she knew I was going to visit him. And it was tough for her, because it was the recognition of, oh wait, and here's the thing, Brian. She said to me, she said, I know you're not doing anything wrong. You're living your life.
Yes.
So she's even telling me this, but it also, I knew it was hitting her hard that I was going and doing this. She's not in a position where she's seeing anybody or pursuing anything.
Yes.
It was also the time of year when, in our previous life, we would go away on a family vacation. So kind of all, it was like, here I was going away, going to, you know, another city with somebody that clearly holds an important place in my life.
Yes.
And that really, it brought me back to a lot of the guilt that I'm doing something wrong,
Yes.
even though she kept saying, I know you're not doing anything wrong. It took some time to really, really get through that,
Okay.
for me
Well,
personally.
so part of that for you was the guilt that you weren't spending this time with your family and your wife and you were out
Well,
doing something on your own. But
there was,
wasn't part of it a conditioned guilt? Like, oh my
oh,
God,
it was,
this would have been something secretive, or this is supposed to be secretive.
yes,
And
that's
it's
right.
like
It
your
was,
knee-jerk reaction.
yeah, it was more the guilt of I'm doing something wrong that I
Yes.
shouldn't be doing. That,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
that even though I'm out, and it brings back some of the, the guilt maybe, and I don't want to say shame because but it is that, that guilt comes from I'm bad. I'm
Yes.
doing something bad.
Yes.
And it was a little bit hard at times. And I even talked to him about it, to my boyfriend, and said, listen, I'm feeling this right now. And
Yeah.
he's been incredible and kind of helped me through that. But it's also, I think, for all of us, is you go through these processes, and every time there's something that's new, the first time for something, it is, it can be tough. And
And I don't
I
think it's just the first time. I think it's a lifetime of
well, it can
conditions.
be, but I think
Well, I'm gonna
each time you go through it, it's like,
yes.
okay, you and my friend Dan all refers to experiences like this as leveling up. It's like, okay, you're here and you go through something hard, and now it's like, okay, wait a minute, this just took me to the next level in my coming out process, in my living my authentic life, in the process of
Yes.
doing that, right?
Yes.
It brings you up a level.
All right. Well, after our last podcast, like I said, you and I talked about it after we were done
Yeah.
recording. I was driving to a family event and I was reflecting on, okay, this is the conversation that you and I had. This is the guilt and everything. And I catch myself, I'm out to the world, so I have nothing to hide.
Right.
But I'm like driving to this family event, and before I get there, I'm like checking my phone and making sure that I don't have Grinder open, or I'm like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and I don't,
Yeah.
that's, I'm out. I don't have to like worry about the shame and the guilt of that, but it's this conditioning, like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
arriving somewhere and I need to hide this
Mm-hmm.
part of me. I don't have to hide that part of me, but it's
No.
like this conditioning that
Right.
I have to
Because
do.
I think, right, it's the conditioning. It's the what are people going to think? Are they going to judge me? Are they, even though they know, right?
Yes.
What's it, how's each situation going to be?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So
Yeah.
I thought that was important because I know that people write in and they, one of the things they share when they write into us is the guilt that they're feeling and having. And so,
And
yeah,
and as you said, does it ever go away completely?
I don't
I
know.
I don't know if it does, but the more we do things, the more you put yourself out there, and you realize sometimes it's the we have to recondition ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I see a lot of TikToks where men are talking about getting married to another man and they're like, oh my God, I just realized I'm going to have to kiss my husband in front of all this family and friends and da 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 da. Am I really that gay? It's like the shame associated with you can't kiss another man in front of friends or family and stuff like that is, yes,
Yeah. Well, that, and that's an interesting topic too, around, well, am I gay enough? Am I being too
yeah.
gay? And but it's real. I mean, I don't know about you, but there's times where I feel in certain circumstances, if I'm going into, let's say, a gay space, not necessarily with like other gay dads, but into a gay bar or a
Yes.
club, or just your garden variety gays, if you will, right?
Yes.
Or your lifetime gays. I'm like, am I gay enough? Are they going to, see right there? Oh, who are you? You don't belong in this. And then when, and then there's other times where it's like, well, well, wait a minute. If I'm in a straight environment, do I have to hide my gayness?
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
how do you how do you balance it? I don't have the answer to it, but it's just something that I've observed and a question I
I,
know that I keep asking myself.
you know, my Saugatuck shorts, I used to wear those all the time walking my dog. And it's like, okay, I moved, and now I think to myself, oh, are these shorts too gay to walk my dog in outside? It's like, so I worry about that too. That's hilarious. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
hmm,
You know what?
God.
I think about that sometimes. I'm sitting here in my apartment and my building. I have to go down to the basement to do laundry. Right? It's a community laundry room. I don't have it here in my unit. And so if there's times I'm sitting around in the evening or the weekends, um, right, I might be wearing some short shorts and maybe I have a Provincetown T-shirt on or some gay T-shirt, and I'm like, oh, do I have to change because but more and more I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I don't
Yes.
care. It's like, but yeah,
Yes.
you
You
ask
don't
yourself those
need to
questions.
erase yourself
No,
because MAGA is trying to erase us
well,
all on their own.
oh yeah,
You don't need to erase yourself at the same time.
that is very true.
I put on our notes to talk about they painted over the crosswalk
Yeah, in Orlando
outside. Yes,
at
it's
the Pulse
just I
nightclub. Yeah,
can't. Yes, twice, not once, but twice. They painted over it. They chalked it at first, and then they went there at night and they repainted the sidewalk. And
yeah,
then the government came in, or
yeah.
cities, whatever state,
Oh no,
came
it was a
in
state.
and
It was
painted over a
Florida.
second
It
second time.
was. So here's what I have to say to that. Ron DeSantis is a
Yes.
fuckwad.
Yes. He thought it was what did his term was he was worried about public safety, and
No,
that's why they
no.
painted over it. Fuck
Moves,
you.
things like that are done for no reason than to purposefully drive division.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's an intentional move. It has nothing to do. I mean, that's what all this stuff is. It's about pushing the white nationalist straight agenda.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
It's
And
terrible. It's
it's
heartbreaking.
horrible.
It's absolutely
Terrible. It is.
heartbreaking.
Absolutely. No, it is absolutely disgusting. I know there were people that went back out and I think they chalked it over.
Yeah.
A friend of mine after that posted on Instagram and was trying to get a group of people together to say, hey, let's go and in New York, let's paint crosswalks and just make a statement. And a number of people said, yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a risk of getting arrested for doing something like that? Yeah, but it's like, hey, these are ways that you've got to find to protest peacefully, right?
Yes.
It's civil disobedience. It's saying no, we're not going to stand for this. Now, granted, in a city like New York, okay, it's more open to it, but who knows? We could have the National Guard here
Yeah. I know.
next week. You
God.
know,
God.
you know.
Oh God. Yes. Well, we were talking last weekend. I was not aware of this. Evidently, this happened in I think April. That the United States is on the human rights watch list with everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
For the United States to be on a watch list,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
saddening that even other countries are looking at what's happening here and seeing that it's not okay, and they're worried about us,
No.
and yet it seems like part of our government is just like so off the fucking rails. Other countries are seeing it, but they can't see it here. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Mark.
And that's and I know we each week I think we've been coming back to this theme, and I do think it's important, and I would imagine most of our listeners are aware of a lot of these things and are not in favor of what's going on. But I think it's really important that we do keep shining light on these things, because it's easy. It's like a frog getting boiled on a
Yes.
slow, right? You keep turning up the heat, turning up the heat. You don't realize it, and all of a sudden you're boiled. You're
Yes.
fucked.
Yes.
And that's exactly what is happening here. Each thing, there's so much out there that and that's part of the strategy, is like keep everybody off balance. You don't know what to focus on, but you've got to just know that these things are happening. They're real. It's slowly chipping away at LGBTQ rights. Let's not kid ourselves. Things
Yeah.
could get a lot worse before hopefully they can turn around at some point.
Yeah.
And we've got to keep shining light on it. We've got to be vigilant, find the things that we can do. um, it's it's sad and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to switch gears for a minute and talk about something. I have been very open about my personal struggle in the last year, you know, looking for a new job, moving, kind of shifting where I'm at to try and get myself in a different headspace. And yesterday morning, I woke up just mentally exhausted from this hamster wheel of, trying to make something happen day after day, week after week. And I woke up yesterday and I was like, God damn it, I have to do something different this morning. Now, I meditate, I take long walks with my dog, I do all kinds of stuff, but then I jump on my laptop and I'm on Indeed, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on here, I'm there. I just like this exact same thing over and over. And I said, you know what, Brian, this morning, don't do that to yourself. Do something different today.
Mm.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to do something different. I put on some meditative kind of music and I was just journaling. And in the past, I have been saying, I am praying for a miracle. I can look back at different times in my life and think, oh my God, when this happened, so much shit shifted for me. And it wasn't something that I had any control over. It was an introduction to somebody, it was to a chance encounter, whatever it was. Things happen, your life can change in an instant. And I was thinking, okay, I have been praying for a freaking miracle in my life. And the thought occurred to me, not in a grandiose, narcissistic way, but the thought occurred to me, man, maybe I'm looking at this all wrong. Maybe I am the miracle in motion here and now, and I am the miracle that's supposed to happen in somebody else's life. And
Mm.
instead of me being focused on the miracle happening to me, maybe I need to quiet my fucking voice, still myself down, and allow whatever the message is for me to be the miracle for somebody else. Totally changed my perspective. And this is why I wrote this down. I'm doing that from like 9 to 10:30 yesterday morning. I finish up, I'm like whatever. I decide, okay, it's 10:30 now, I'm going to open my laptop and I'm going to start looking at emails and stuff like that. I open my laptop and at 10:45 yesterday morning, you and I got the most freaking amazing
Yeah.
email from somebody.
Yeah.
And again, not that I don't mean this in a narcissistic fashion at all, but damn, you and I are the miracle in other people's lives right now.
Well,
There are people that reach out to us, right? These emails that we get.
it's
I thought I
listen.
was alone, you know.
Look, what drove us to be doing what we're doing? It's being able to take our experiences and hopefully make a difference for somebody else. And I suppose for maybe there's a little bit of therapy here, just being able
Yeah.
to
For
share our
us, right?
experiences. But it is about reaching other people, and that I love that. I mean, and it's it's the or I would even take that to say, it's not just about being the miracle for in somebody else's life. It's just recognizing that, and not to get overly, spiritual here, because honestly, I don't consider myself a religious person. I am spiritual, but that the miracles are all around us, and it's the lens you choose to look through. We
Yes.
all have our crappy. I mean, we could get into this. I mean, I had a really hard day yesterday. I had a really deep therapy session, um, where some stuff, going back to kind of talking about guilt, that came up from my past, my childhood, where I realized things that I had been suppressing, not just that I was gay, but just things around all of that. I mean, just like memories that I really just put out of my head, and it
Mm.
was in. I'll talk more about it, I'm sure, in the future. But I went out for a walk, did some meditation, and can't say that I came back to the conclusion that you did about being the miracle, but it was all about, well, wait, how am I, and I was getting very upset that I had allowed these things to be buried in me for so long, that I was living my life so untrue to myself. And I was getting really angry. And then but then I came back to, well, wait, let me shift my perspective. I can't rewrite the past. You can't rewrite the past and the struggles, but I can choose to look at it differently. I can say,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I'm here, I'm now, this is where I am, this is who I am, these are the things I get to do. And, and then we get an email like this, and it
Yes.
really says, um, hey, we're, look, we can't solve everybody's problems, but at the very least, it lets people know you're not alone, and we're all
Yes.
sharing similar experiences. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you weren't in therapy, if you weren't working on yourselves, you and I wouldn't be doing this podcast together. So it's the work that you're doing. And this, when I talk about being the miracle in somebody else's life, I just mean this podcast, somebody stumbling upon this podcast that is a closeted gay man thinking they're all alone,
Yeah.
realizing that these two guys are talking to an entire community and they're
Yep.
not alone.
Yep.
Just hearing how these people,
Yeah.
where they were at, how emotionally bankrupt they were, how they're, being closeted and suppressing themselves, how it manifests into their lives. And
Yeah.
at what point in time it becomes a breaking point for them and they start looking outside of the marriage or going online and chatting with other men and just having it go from there. But
Yeah. Yeah.
again, I don't
Well,
know, it's
and
just
and, and I think as this listener, wrote in, and I won't read the whole email, and certainly, don't want to break any confidences here, but just some of the things that he talked about are themes that we all, in one way, shape, or form, have all experienced. He says, as a closeted gay man who's lived two lives, I didn't have any close male friends, right? We were just talking about that.
Mhm.
Straight or gay, I was alone. I felt so isolated. Um, Felt deep guilt and shame. And he talks about,
Yes.
some of the things that led to that. Had anxiety and fear about the unknowns of coming out to family and friends. I know it's a painful process to work through, but I'm ready to live my life authentically. I can't undo the past. I have to live through it and deal with the consequences of my actions. And then he says, and this is really, and not saying this to pat ourselves on the back, but it's, he says, I enjoy learning about your life stories and experiences. I find your show to be therapeutic as well.
Yeah.
Look, and again, neither one of us, we make clear we're not here to give advice. We are not licensed therapists. We're here to share. We share our experiences, and
Yes.
and and I think what he's saying is just that hearing the experiences can be therapeutic because you know you're not alone.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
that I know for me through my journey has made such a big difference, knowing you're not alone and having
Yeah.
other people you can connect to.
Yeah. Because at one point in time, I've said it 100 times, I thought I was all alone. I thought I
Yeah.
was the only married man
Oh my God. That's right.
trapped
Right.
in,
Right. I was like,
in the gays.
exactly. I remember distinctly what, when I came out to myself and really acknowledged that I was gay, I was like, oh my God, I must be the only person that has been living their life this way.
Yeah. Yes.
And then
Here we are. There's an
quickly start
entire
to find
group,
out
gay
that
fathers
there's
worldwide.
and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I
Yes.
mean, between gay fathers worldwide, how I mean, there's other groups. And I'll tell you something. Not a week goes by just in meeting people and now being much more, being openly out and sharing my story. I'm sure there's times people are like, Dembo, you just shut up. We don't need to hear it again. But I was like, met somebody's like, oh my God, I went through the same thing. Or my friend's friend, same thing. It's like there are a lot of us, and it
Yes.
is nothing to be ashamed of. We are all coming to this on our own time.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to kind of some of these same themes. One of the things that has been a big part of my kind of leveling up, if you will, right as we are talking about over the last couple of weeks, has been a shift of mindset. You were kind of talking about the miracle piece, um, and realizing, like when I was feeling the guilt, and there's also kind of a mourning, or even what I was just talking about, and recognizing some things, from my past. It can be very easy to focus on the mourning of what no longer is
Yes.
and what we've lost, instead of focusing on what is.
Yes.
And the what is, meaning there's a lot, in the coming out process, there is a lot of good you can focus on. Being able to live authentically, pursue that relationship that has been missing in your life with a man, forming those close friendships, being able to go to gay movie night, right? Focus on those things of the what is, what's here before us now.
Yeah. Yes.
Doesn't mean you don't want to process the what's not, the what is no longer. And there can be grief, there can be mourning,
Yeah.
but come back to that what is. And
Yes.
how do I, like even with my wife, where we've been, that's been really helped us as we kind of worked through this. It was like, okay, what is? Well, we still are close, we still are a family, we are still, there are still things that we do together, we are still a part of each other's lives. It is different. No, we're not on a family vacation. No, we're not doing that. But here's what is.
Yeah.
And that I have found to be a really, really helpful reframing.
Well, let me tell you, that's part of healing, because healing is when you stop telling the story of what broke you and start living the story of what rebuilt you. So, healing is stop focusing on the loss and start focusing on the good, right?
Yeah.
That shows that you're healing. It takes fucking work. It's a lot of fucking work to heal from this shit.
And it's not a straight line. It's not a
No.
straight line. There are days where it can be great, and then something happens and it's,
Yes.
I mean, there can be loneliness, there can be guilt, there can be that fear, that sense of loss, fear of the unknown. It's not a straight line.
Yeah. Yes. Well, something I'm gonna segue a little bit, kind of make it a little more lighthearted. I told you my son's coming over today.
Yeah.
He and I are gonna hang out. We have a beautiful pool here. He's gonna come over and hang
Oh,
out. And
nice.
I have been for the last 3 days deciding, when we're at the pool, am I wearing my dad trunks I'm wearing my Speedo.
Oh,
Am
you're
I
wearing your
wearing my dad
Speedos.
cups or I'm wearing my
Brian,
Speedo?
no, no, no.
Uh,
You're wearing the Speedos, and
I am.
I want to see a picture.
Oh, good God.
I want
Yes.
proof. No, no, no.
Listen.
It's got to be the Speedos.
That's what I'm going to do. I mean, this is me living my authentic, true
Yeah,
self. It
yeah.
doesn't have to, be some risque speedo, but I am actually under these shorts that I have on right now is my speedo. And my son comes over. We're gonna see what his reaction is because I'm gonna go sit by the pool
Mm,
in my speedo.
all right. Well, and you know, why shouldn't you? Why
Yes.
shouldn't you?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I want to
yeah.
talk about one more thing, and maybe you have something you want to talk about, but I'm not a crumbles cookie fan, but over the last couple days I've been seeing news about the Crumble Cookie co-CEO or co-founder Sawyer Hemsley, and there was all this speculation online that he was gay or he was closeted gay, and I'm like seeing on TikTok and different things, oh, he needs to come out. It was almost like a harassment toward him. And just yesterday, he posted in a nice, I think it was on Instagram, a post of his coming out and coming to terms with who he is. And, he's been part of, like a lot of our listeners, he's been part of the Mormon church his entire life. And I know that the Mormons or Latter-day Saints are not okay with homosexuality. So he had to come to terms with that. He came out as gay. My reason for bringing that up isn't he's Mormon and he's coming out as gay. It's like I felt like seeing these videos over the last couple days that he was like harassed and
Hmm.
bullied and like mean
Yeah,
girl. It's like
yeah.
if you think that this person is gay, let them have their fucking experience. Let them
Right.
have their process. Why do you need to control and label somebody? When I was in the closet, I had such fear that someone's going to say, "Oh, you're so gay," or, whatever, just make me feel like there
Yeah,
was something wrong
yeah.
with me or that I was going to be outed. And
Right.
how sad that this person, to whatever degree
Felt that
he's
they
in
were
the public
basically
eye,
yeah, but he was basically outed or forced to come out, and
bullied
that's
to come
yeah,
out.
yeah, and that's yeah. Look, everybody needs to do things on their own time and decide what's right
Yes.
for them, when to come out, if to come out, how to come out. It's every person's narrative. It's every person's story to write and tell, and that is, it's just like, just let everybody live their lives, and
Yes.
that at the end of the day, to me, is what matters. If you want to come out, come out. If you don't. It's like,
Don't.
just live your life.
But we should have empathy. This
Yeah,
community should be
yeah,
full of
yeah,
empathy for other
yeah,
people. It
yeah,
shouldn't be catty and, oh, he's this and he's that or whatever. It's like, have some compassion for people.
yeah.
If at one point in time, even if you were 12 years old and you felt like you were in the closet and you came out as a teenager, remember those feelings you had and the fear before you
That's
came
right.
out. You
That's
don't
right.
have to
Yeah,
bully people
yeah,
into coming out just because you are or
yeah,
you think that they're not. I don't know. So I
yeah,
just wanted to
yeah,
touch base on that. But yes,
yeah. So what else we got for today?
let me ask you a question. Well, your answer to this may be a little different, but I am out. I worked very hard to be out and be who I am and where I'm at. And there is a closeted married man that has an attraction for me and has expressed a lot of very kind, loving things to me. And I find myself in a position where it's like, God, I worked so hard to be out. I don't want to crawl into the closet for somebody. But at the exact same time, this person is on their own path. They're not out, whether they're ever going to come out or not. I don't condone someone cheating on their spouse, whether it be a husband, a wife,
Yeah,
gay, straight, whatever it is. But I am really struggling with allowing myself to accept. this kindness from somebody who, sees me as a safe person, I guess, for them, because I don't know, I think I am a safe person, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, wow. That's that we could have like a whole episode on that topic. It's a multi-layered question, I think, because so if I look at it from my own lens, if I were to pursue, I think it would be very hard for me to say, well, I could pursue any kind of relationship with that person, because of the constraints, and not because, oh, you're, I mean, how we lived our lives that way, but I don't want to be uh the catalyst, if you will, for somebody to be living a double life.
Yes.
I'm just not comfortable with that. It's like my coming out process. Once I came out to myself, I knew I was not going to do that to my wife, which is
Yes.
why, which led to me coming out, to her, and moving on. And I think it would be very difficult, as you said, because also, do you want to then feel like you're to some degree putting yourself back in the closet?
Yes. I guess I just don't want to invest
Yeah.
not that I'm worried about, them cheating on their wife or me being a party to that. Although part of me thinks that that's bad karma, but at the exact same time, I don't want to invest my
Yeah.
energy, my emotions, my rawness, my vulnerability into
And
somebody
maybe
that's not going anywhere.
right, but maybe then the answer is to be clear with that person about where you're at and how you're feeling, and to say, look, I can be here as a friend, I can be here as a support, but given your situation, maybe it's not best for us to be in a more romantic or physical relationship, but
Yes.
certainly to be
Yes.
there
I
as
agree.
a friend as they try and figure out their process.
Well, but this is
I
a
mean,
closeted, horny man. And, it's
well,
like, hey, I'll
or
be your
right.
friend. We can talk, we can chat on the phone. It always turns very sexual. I'm not a victim to anything, but I thought maybe there's somebody else. Maybe one of our listeners is that closeted man who is pursuing an out gay man. Maybe that's one of our
Yeah.
listeners, or, I don't know. I find myself to be much more comfortable around men that kind of spent the last 10, 20 years in the same, I don't know, environment that I was in, raising a family. I find myself to be more attracted toward family men, towards
Mm-hmm.
men with kids. I don't know. That's just so I
Well, that's
think I'm a
understandable.
magnet to that to begin with, but yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that's completely understandable, right? And it's there's because there's a common ground, a connection there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, that's all I got, Mark.
All right.
How about you?
Well, hey, oh, so much more we could keep going on, but I think we're hitting our time mark here. So,
Okay. All
and your
right.
son's coming over. You gotta
Yes,
run.
he's gonna
Oh,
come
you know what? I
over.
will. One thing I'll close on, just kind of a nice. Speaking of your son coming over,
All right.
last week for the first time since I've been in my place, one of my kids, my one of my daughters, came and spent the night here, and I made dinner and we hung out and had a great time. And it just, kind of talking about the what is and kind of the moving forward and the new rituals. It just felt really nice to have her here and just hang out and be in the space together. So
Yes.
it's really cool.
Building new memories.
Yeah.
Building new. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, I want to be part of the next movie night,
All right. Well, hey, we'll send you
the
the
virtual
we'll
one.
send you the link. Yes, and
Okay.
for other listeners out there that might be interested too, let us know because it's all virtual. We can,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, expand the circle. So
Right in
yeah.
cominginsideout@gmail.com.
All right. Well, hey, Brian,
All right.
have a great time with your son.
All right. Thank you. I'll talk to
All
you soon,
right.
Mark.
Talk to you
All right.
soon. Bye.
Bye.